tonight. Thanks everybody for coming tonight. We're gonna get going on the work session. I know you guys, it was kind of long, the budget modifications. Anne was out for a little bit, but she's got everything caught up. Everybody get a chance to look at them? Any questions or, like I said, I know it was a lot, so.
No, we move money around and
Sandy,
Yeah, we're still good, so.
he does a great job.
All right, next, we're gonna Highway Vehicle and Equipment Reserve Fund. We're gonna add to this out of our general fund. 350,000 to make sure that the trucks for next year that Tom wants to get are covered. So anybody have a question on that? Tom, we have one coming in that probably most of this will go to, but there'll still be some left over. He can get a little truck or, you know, go from there. Next is the retirement fund. We're going to put 50,000 into that to make it a little higher from the AO fund. Actually, the Highway Vehicle Reserve Fund is the DA fund, which is that money, the 350 is coming out of that. The retirement fund is 50,000. That's coming out of the AO fund. We do have at least 3 highway guys retiring in April. And who knows, maybe by the end of the year, another 1 or 2. So just want to make sure that's up there because a lot of these guys have had 20 years or more. So next, the historical marker at the Historical Society building. I know I sent this out to everybody. Everybody got the emails, the pictures of all this stuff. I know Jim and Matt had some concerns about where it's going and maybe where they could go better. In conversation with the people that are doing a historical marker, they're kind of fixated on the Historical Society. This is nothing that we have to decide tonight. If people still want to talk, you know, whether they talk to Dave or we have them come in and do a presentation.
I mean, I saw, Jim, you kind of like the idea of moving it down towards the park and ride. With the historical markers, don't you want to have someplace that people can pull off and get out and see them a little bit more?
I mean, yeah, that's.
But I mean, the park and ride kind of seems like you're just getting on the highway. I thought that the Historical Society was.
Well, this particular one talked about the Liberty Highway, Old 17. So I thought that maybe down here, people would be standing there, be able to look at it instead of driving by it at 50 miles an hour and not really notice it.
Well, even me and Matt had a discussion about this too. And Matt brought up about Old 17 going up the mountain by the Homoac, which is one of the ones that are on there. And I agreed with him because that was one of the first places I asked a guy.
You mean by Shawanga Lodge?
Yeah. I'm sorry, Shawanga Lodge. And that was the first place I said to him, but he said there's not enough traffic up there. So they want to be somewhere where there's a lot of traffic, and they think 209 over there is high traffic. They really wanted it in the village. But the village kind of turned it down because they wanted to do it right next to a sidewalk, and you know, it's hard to put it, you know, and make sure the sidewalks are clear and stuff like that. So
Can we do 2?
well, that's up to them. They're the ones that are buying. We're not, you know, so we're just giving them a place. And the only place for us is the Historical Society. Other than that, they have to do it on their own. So, I mean, even if they wanted to go to park and ride, we don't have any say in it. That would be, they'd have to go to the state. So we'd only be putting it on our property, which is the Historical Society. So,
Or
here.
Yeah.
But like I said, I think we should still get, it's not going to go up until spring anyway. So I think if you wanted to have them do a presentation and talk about it some more before we make any decisions, because I'd hate to
Can we just approve the sign and then to determine the location if we're that concerned with location?
Not even sure if I'm not even sure if we're there. Matt had some issues with the pictures.
Well, even-
Not throwing you under the bus, buddy,
It's
but
kind of a wish list. I don't want to
Well, the other thing with that, Tyler, is even if
jam up
we
the works
approve
too
it
badly.
and it doesn't go at the historical society, we don't have any say in it anyway. So, you know, so unless it's going at the historical society, we don't really care what it looks like, or, you know,
we could certainly hash this out a little bit more between us.
yeah. I got some emails, you know, I'd really like the guy to come here and do a presentation, or the lady.
Sounds good.
I know Dave Lewis is involved in it, so, you know, maybe we can have them all come to a meeting, maybe not the first meeting in January, but maybe the second, because the first one's going to be the reorg meeting. So right now we'll just kind of table that still and try and work something out with them. All right, next is a little presentation from Vicky. Not a presentation, more of questions and answers for us about the contracts for this year coming up. Vicky, you just want to go up? You got fans. So last meeting, Vicky, we had the Walden one, and we are not really sure. Their prices did go up a little bit, but then since then we've also got Middletown, and we also got Port Jervis. Did we get Port Jervis yet?
They said that they had announced it last Thursday.
Okay, so we haven't seen that one yet either. So just for your own your opinion is, what do you think about Walden's contract?
Looking back, I also spoke with the shelter manager yesterday. It makes sense. So we are run by ag market law. Shelters, as of December 15th, had to reorg. They have many new laws to be run by, which is enrichment, so on and so forth. Their cost now is going to keep increasing. They're incurring much more costs. They're having many more people. Shelters are for animals to be adopted out of. So now they want it to be run where the dogs have much more available to them. Having said that, they are a little more particular on dogs that they accept. So when I had spoken to Ryan, as he explained it, is again, the cost is going up, but what I enjoyed with his conversation is, as a DCO, we pick up the dog. We want to reunite the dog as quickly as possible. But sometimes we have to go to the day and we have to take them to the shelter. Their incentive is the $75 a day, is that the DCO is actively involved in looking for an owner, so a dog is redeemed. So if they charge the $75 a day board, and on day 2 the dog is redeemed, we are charged the board, not the disposition fee of the $350. So we have paid through the years other shelters $275, $300 if the dog is paid, picked up on day 1 or day 5. So dogs must be held on a redemption time for 7 days before it's transferred to the shelter as their ownership. But we are really trying to get owners to redeem the dog. Has that been happening? Been a tough last 2 years of dogs just kind of being abandoned on roads in our area. So what happens is I bring them in, scan them, we post them, we look for owners, we do as much as we can. But if no one comes forward on that day 7, they're transferred to the shelter for their ownership. I hope
What-
that clears up a little bit.
What shelter at that point are they going to? So you get a dog and you bring it to Port Jervis or Walden or
Pull over and I start making phone calls or text messages. So now with this new law, there's also going to be no after hour drop off because the shelter law has changed where they also have to have eyes on the dog to assess it before they will accept it. So what I do is I look at who I've brought what in the last week. So if I have 2 dogs that have been sitting at port, and they only have them for a small dog or a big dog, so I text everybody at once and say, hey, do you have room for a large breed? Or I have this, and do you have room for, but if I have many dogs at one shelter, it's really whoever has room from at the time, and that's been very difficult. So legally, I'm only allowed to hold a dog for 24 hours, and I have had to do that this year. But with the animal control vehicle, as wonderful it is as it is, you know, the air conditioning heat in this kind of cold weather, I cannot have a dog in there for a standard period of time. So we really had to work graciously with our shelters of who is available to us. So I looked through last year of how many dogs were seized, how many were transferred, how many were surrendered, and who took what. And some years, Walden was my go-to because maybe their municipalities weren't picking up as many. This past year was King, and Port has taken quite a few also. So, and Middletown, we just started, and I've already taken 3 to them this year.
Yeah. Okay. So you're in favor of the Walden contract?
In my opinion, the contract, you know, sometimes we can see a dog and say, all right, this dog's got a mom and dad, maybe there's some variable happening that they haven't called it yet. So I do and like that they're doing it that way instead of, you know, the 300 on day 2, but that's just what we've had to, you know, it's costly for them to even hold. So I see the cost going to be increasing. So, yeah, I do think it's a parental contract. Now that I spoke to him, he's more than welcome. He said, Brian, I said, he'd be more than welcome to, you know, speak to any of you, explain it.
Now, those fees are, if if you reunite the dog's owners then pick up those fees?
So we have a town fee of redemption, seizure fee is income. So if the owner is found, they would come in, prove their license. If it doesn't have a license, they have to get their license. They pay to the clerks that redemption fee, they get a receipt, they go to the shelter, and then they're allowed to pick up their dogs. And then we are billed either monthly or quarterly, depending on the shelter, that the fee that they charge. So if I took a dog to Walden at day 2, the dog is redeemed, they come to Karen, they get their license, their receipt, they go, then a month or 2 later, we will get a bill for
Okay, for the
For the
2
2
days,
days.
the $75 a day, but not the $350.
transferring it to the shelter as their property. If that-
Which happens after 7 days.
Correct.
Vicky, it sounds like it would be a real hardship anyways to even lose any of these shelters because it sounds like even to lose one might be a problem, correct?
A lot of the shelters
Yeah.
work. And we try to network on other things too, so we could all be apprised of kind of what's going on in their shelter, you know, and sometimes shelters get cooties and we want to be aware before we're bringing dogs there and if they have to quarantine, and we understand that, so we all try to work together to.
Yeah. Well, there's a possibility if you lost one of these shelters that you might not have a place to put an animal if something happened, correct?
So it's tough.
Yeah. Yeah.
And very tough.
No matter what the cost is, it could be a real issue. Really?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
And we have other situations that happen where we've had residents that maybe have passed or have for mental health issues, now their dogs are left there, and we've had to do things at that time of holding the dogs or having the shelter hold the dogs for us. You know, it's trial by fire sometimes, but it is to have a community that we can work with the shelters. Absolutely. We're all under stress. The shelters are very good.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions for Vicky? No. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Vicky. You're doing a great job. So,
Yes.
Thank you. All right, next on the work session, resignation of the chief court officer and head of security, Charles Gutcherson Jr. Chip came in my office the other day and was like, it's time for me to go. So it's time to retire. So he'll be greatly missed. I left everybody a letter. You know, he's
You gonna get up and say goodbye, Chip?
he-
But also for 45 years, I was a part. 35 years, it's good enough, right?
Thanks for all your years of service and enjoy your retirement.
yeah, thank you, Chip.
Thank you.
Done a great job. Okay, anybody have any questions for that? Not really, right? No. So, all right, so we'll go to the business meeting with pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right,
Gotcha.
the next thing, it was a typo on the agenda, the public hearing for the local law that was, on November 18th, we closed that public hearing. So it was just a typo on the agenda. So, public comment, 3 minutes each individual, 30-minute maximum for the public hearing or public comment, on anything on the workshop. Anybody got anything? No? Brittany, you got anybody online? Brittany?
I do not.
Okay, thank you. All right, moving right along, Highway Superintendent report.
Evening, just a couple quick things. So as far as the report goes, we had our second snow event this past Sunday. Everyone was in for several hours cleaning up during the storm. When we're not doing snow, we're fixing trucks and also going around fixing potholes that we've been creating during the plowing. We've been utilizing limb lopper lately, removing dead trees from the sides of the road. We're still working with Tree Innovations. We have a few more days left with them. And just want to let everybody know, last night at the Town of Liberty Town Board meeting, they voted to accept the bid offer for the paving. So,
Awesome. Very good.
money, please. So we already have possession of that. We'll just finalize all that. I have one more thing for the report, but I'll finish that. And this is not really part of the report. I just emailed this to Ben and to the board a few moments ago. So just take notice of it. There's a law firm out of Oklahoma that wants $1,400 because we hit some Frontier wires in 2024 on a date that they specified was August 19th, which is not correct because we notified Frontier in July, the day we hit those wires, after we called before we dug, and those wires were nowhere where they belonged to be. So now they've solicited Mr. Randall Fudge and Bobby Irby out in Oklahoma to collect our money. Don't give them a dime, and that would be my suggestion. We did everything we were supposed to do. I've been talking with several collections people from Frontier for a few years, and I guess they finally decided to pull the trigger and try to get their mass amount of $1,400. So if we didn't call before we dug, I'd eat it and say we messed up. That happens, life happens, but we did. The wires were nowhere where they said they were. And their only excuse was you should have called again for a call before you dig because you waited too long before you dug, which was like a month, not 10 years. So no new infrastructure had been laid on South Road in the time between the call. So that's in your inbox. So just take a notice to that, and Ben just advise on best course of action for that, I suppose. And then just lastly, I just want to thank you guys for a great year, great 2 years. Congratulations to everybody continuing on, and congratulations to everybody leaving and retiring and going forth. Mike, good job, great job. Thank you very much. John as well.
Thank you.
And everybody else. We'll see you next month.
Thanks.
And Mike, we'll see you next month too. You're just going to be sitting somewhere.
Can I ask you
Thank
a
you.
question, Tom?
Yeah, you can ask a question.
I noticed on Chewanga Lodge Road, the fiber optic guys, they're laying the fiber optics in the ditches.
They sure are.
Is that going to be a maintenance issue for us in the
Absolutely.
future?
This is a grant that the county got to lay fiber optic by that company. They contacted us about a day, not a day, but they contacted us a few weeks before they started construction. We gave them road cut permits. They're supposed to be several inches into the ground, boring under driveways and under roads, not cutting anything up, which so far I believe is the truth. But there was about very limited knowledge of this whole thing. I can tell you, I sat in on a meeting 2 years ago about a line that was stretching from the city to Canada that was going to touch Kennel Road. if anybody even knows where Kennel Road is in the town of Mankato, it's gonna touch not even the paved portion, it's gonna touch all the way up in the woods, but it's going through our town, so they sat us down and they had like a meeting. We had another Zoom call after that. That's a good example of like letting people know what's going on. This, I got an email 2 weeks before saying, hey, the county got a contract, we're going in.
Are they gonna provide any kind of map or?
That is something the Association of Town Highway Superintendents discussed, just at our meeting last week. So yeah, we're hopeful that when everything's done, we'll get a construction map. There is tracer wire, so before you call, before you dig, you should know that it's there, so that's smart. My only inherent concern is I barely knew about this. You guys probably didn't even know about this. So in 10 years, nobody's gonna remember this even happened, and we're gonna tear all of that back up when we go to ditch that road. And that's not the only road they're doing. They're doing Firehouse, they're doing Ferguson, or Fire Tower, Firehouse, Ferguson, Chewang Lodge. They're connecting all of the cell phone towers, which is a good idea.
It's great, but you know, putting them in our ditches that require periodic maintenance really puts us up against.
Yeah,
It-
is anyone inspecting, like, that they're digging 2 foot in the ground?
Yeah, that's been brought up too. Is it up to me? Is it up to the county? There's a representative from the county that I've been talked with and that our association has been talking with. And she's been, I'm blanking on her name. So she's been pretty on the ball, but yeah, I don't know if the county's going out and making sure they're doing what they said they were gonna do. Again, it was just an email, like, hey, we're gonna be in your town.
So
And
with,
all the townships are dealing, every township got this generic email and a couple weeks later, bang, here they are.
so with that notification, as long as that you've made them aware that it's not up to spec or something, are we going to be on the hook for $1,400 every time you tear up a wire?
So this is two different things we're talking about. What Matt is referencing is, fiber optic being laid by a company that I've been saying every day for like 10 times a day, but I just can't now remember their name. And the issue you're referencing is a Frontier
No,
phone line.
I get it, but
Oh, yeah,
in the future, when you tear up one of these lines because it's only 6 inches underground,
sure.
they're going to hand you a bill and say it's your responsibility.
We're the municipality. We just have the money. So yes.
It's gonna be a lot more than the $1,400.
Oh, for that. Yeah, that's-
It's fiber optics.
Fine, that's $1,400. This is cable. This is.
I mean, when they first installed these in my industry, it was, you hit these things, they're gonna try to put you in jail.
Yeah.
Walk away.
Yeah.
One strand and multiple strands in that fiber optic.
It's a
So
bit-
that costs a lot more to split.
I would reference anything further to our county representatives, because again, it was a county grant they got, which is great. And they set it all up, but we knew about it pretty much a week or two before it happened, so.
Just one more dumb question. Did we give easements? So how are they legally allowed to dig along the side of our road without an easement from the town?
Thinking the same thing, although the highway department did issue the.
Yeah,
Road
so
cuts and is that the same as a easement along our road?
so this is another great conversation. We can go on about this for hours. We issued road cut permits for one generic road cut permit for this company. I don't want to say this name so bad. Huh? Archtop, thank you. See, this is why, and thank you, Karen, for a great year. This is how.
What was that name again?
Why everything
Karen?
runs good.
Archtop.
Archtop Fire, yeah, so we
Thanks.
provided one generic road cut permit with all the roads listed on it. As did, I believe, most every township. And now I lost my train of thought.
But did you sign it? Because I know I didn't sign it.
Yeah, no, it came from my department that we issued a road cut permit, and they specified what they were gonna do, that they were gonna be digging this far down, that they were gonna be boring under roads and driveways, there would be no taking up of roads until they got to Ferguson Road. They felt they might have to dig a little bit there. And we had a site meeting last week with that. But again, just the fact that you guys don't even know what's going on that's the aggravating part. That's what we're trying to get through. We've had other superintendents having issues with the depth of the wires.
Well, so I don't want to be an a-hole and I don't like stopping work, but we should stop them. Because they're putting them in your ditches, and if they're not going down 2 feet, you go a year later and have to dig them up. We're gonna be responsible for fixing all those fiber optics.
It's very possible.
So we should just immediately stop them from working until we figure out what's going on.
And they're leaving a mess anyway for you.
No, they're cleaning everything.
Oh, they did come back and clean it up? Because
Yeah.
I know there was a mess
Oh,
on.
the tree debris was something completely different. That wasn't them. That was.
That was a
I took down
different
tree.
installer.
Wasn't the top. Yeah, on advice from the town board, I can certainly pass that information along.
So if there's any
He
inclination.
might know more, the Thai guy, because he goes to the county meeting, so.
I had my hand up and down, but I didn't know if that was gonna come under.
If we want to talk about this more, I can cease my report, go sit down and we can discuss this more later. That's all I know about that, though. Like I said, this was a
Okay.
very.
Chris, can we do it at public hearing? The public comment at the end, Tom will,
We'll give you 3 and a half.
I love.
we'll give you a break. We'll give you a break.
That might be.
Stop work.
Well, that's something we'll have to talk with Ben about.
Said I don't like stopping work, but I certainly don't want to see us dig it all up in a year and then. Like I said, I was always taught if you hit fiber optic, just park your machine and walk away.
Are you documenting?
It's over.
Yeah, you're going to jail.
Every time they tell me which road they're starting via email, yeah.
But I mean, if they're under depth, if they're not 2 feet where they're saying,
They're moving so fast that I couldn't tell you that everything is supposed to be right. You know, when I go to a road, if I go check what they're doing, if I even know where they are, because sometimes I don't, they just gave me a list of roads. So
So-
they could be by Matt's house at the beginning of the day and they'll be all the way down by the intersection of Ferguson by the end of it.
Moving.
You know, they're moving right along, yeah.
all right, so. we'll-
You,
And there's no rock around here, so I'm sure there's no issue.
Chris, you want to talk about the county? Hey, we're already this deep. No sense of Tom leaving.
You can beat this to death, get a hold of Lord Green up at the county, he's the one that's the most knowledgeable person about this, it started from Kingston, and where it is, I don't know. And don't get yes, no, go with Lord Green out there. I'm sure you can.
You know,
And
Laura.
all your questions, he's paramount on this.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe it's something we'll touch base with them.
IT.
All right.
Hey, department.
All right.
And
Well,
that's what
maybe-
this is fiber optic line connecting all the cell phone towers in the county and probably more
Alright.
regionally.
By the end of the week, we'll touch base and we'll make a call or just go up there. All right.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you. All right.
Thanks, Chris.
Business.
Thanks, Chris, for the information.
Special assignment.
Just gets better every day.
Yeah. So supervisor's report. So I ain't got too much tonight, or don't have too much tonight. So I want to start out by thanking everybody in the community. My 4 years as supervisor has been pretty good. I've had my ups and downs, I will tell you that. If it wasn't, if it was all great, I would never leave, but but I have made a lot of friends. I've met a lot of people in my 4 years, a lot of great people. So there's always a good part to it. So I'd like to thank the community for that. Next, I'd like to thank this building. Everybody that works in this building, they've been great. They make my life so much easier in this building because this place don't run without them. Vicky's a perfect example. I got Kira in the back, the building department. I got, Karen in her office, Michelle in her office, the girls downstairs, and even my office has been great. If it wasn't for Ann and Brittany keeping me, secure and like taking care of all my stuff and organizing things, they've made my life a lot easier. Which I told Peter that they're number one. So you got to take care of the people that do all your work. So they're the ones behind the scene and they do a fantastic job. So I didn't want to. I didn't want to forget two very important people that were here my first 2 years, Gene and Kathy. Gene was astronomical with knowledge, and Kathy had her toughness that, taught me a lot to how to deal with people. So both of them were a very big part of my first 2 years. So that was very important to me too. So like to give them a hand too, because they helped me out a ton. So. Next, I'd like to thank John Roofer. 5 years ago, when I talked him into running for council, and he was like, yeah, I'll go with you. And it was a huge help to me because we kind of did everything together, and it was very important to me. And, you know, I would run things off him my first 2 years, and we talked about everything and his knowledge of things that helped me with a lot of things. And then he also took a lot of grief by me just venting most of the time, which I still do to him. So, but we've been friends for 35 years, and I appreciate what he's done for me the last 4. So,
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
now with the board, like I said, this board's been great. We've pretty much accomplished everything we wanted to. There's still some things that didn't get accomplished in the time that we were here 4 years together. And they weren't like do or die kind of things. So, you know, we did a lot of work together. We got a lot accomplished. We just didn't get everything accomplished. But for a good thing, out of the 7 of us, 6 of us are still staying. So, you know, I think we got, well, 1 year still together, you know, and I look forward to 1 year. And like I said, we'll see what happens down the road. But this board has done astronomical. Everybody talks about us, how we get along. And, you know, also it made my job easier. You know, when you have a good board, it makes it easy. You know, nobody argues, nobody fights. You know, we don't bicker back and forth, even in emails. It's very smooth, and, you know, I appreciate what the board's done for me. So thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
And last and final thing is just being in my last meeting. Happy holidays coming up, and I'll be sitting down there probably in the next meeting. So no,
He's sitting right here. Let him
Oh,
explain.
down there.
yeah,
No, yeah.
no, down there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm moving down a notch. So.
Gonna get you out of the air conditioning,
But,
Tyler.
and I wish Peter all the luck this coming year as supervisor. I'm really not going anywhere, so, you know, he can bounce a lot of things off of me, and I'll probably be here in the winter months. I'll probably be here a lot, but after once spring starts, you're on your own kind of, so I'll be busy. So, but like I said, good luck, Peter.
Thank you.
So, and the rest of the board coming in, and I think we'll do good things still. So, and everybody enjoy their holidays. So that's all I have for the supervisor's report.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, next, the 2025 abstract, number 26 for $199,522.24. Can I get a motion to accept?
Motion to accept the abstract.
Yeah, number 26.
Whatever number 26. Yeah,
All right.
25.
No, 26. That's a
Oh,
typo.
yeah.
26.
Yeah.
Motion to accept number 26 for $199,522.24.
Second.
All right, motion by Peter, second by John Roofer, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The financial reports, everybody get a chance to look at them over the weekend?
Yep.
Actually, Ann was able to catch up on everything, so they're right. So can I get a motion to accept them?
Motion.
Motion by Gary, second by Matt, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approval of the minutes for 12/3/25.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Motion by Peter,
Second.
second by John, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, approve the budget modifications, resolution A. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Matt, second by Tyler, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approve the transfer of $350,000 to the Highway Vehicle Equipment Reserve Fund from the DA fund balance.
Motion.
Motion by Tyler,
Second.
second by Matt. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approve transfer of $50,000 to the retirement fund from the AO fund balance.
Motion.
Motion by Gary,
Second.
second by Peter, all in favor.
Aye.
Aye.
Next, approve the historical marker. We're gonna table that. And next is accept Charles Gutchis Jr. resignation from Chief Court Officer and Head of Security.
With regret. Motion.
Motion by Peter, second by John, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Just to go back 1 second, I did forget somebody, and we've worked well together. I did forget Tom. Since he's been in, he's done a great job at the highway superintendent, and we talk just about every day. So we have a good relationship, and the highway department's running great. So I just wanted to thank Tom too. All right, next, committee reports. Anybody got anything? No?
Not really. Okay. Can't follow up.
Yeah.
I might be gonna mention the,
Yes. We'll do that right now in announcements. Announcements? Anybody have any?
Other than if anybody hasn't made any of the pancake breakfasts that have been in the local fire departments, Bloomingburg, Summitville, Wirtsboro. If you didn't go, you don't know what you missed, but there was a lot of really good food, and everybody did a great job decorating and doing a wonderful time bringing Santa in. So next time you see it, go on out. It's worth it.
Yeah, and I would like to make an announcement too. You know, it's my last meeting also. Mike really went over everything, but also I know like Mike's in charge, so I don't want to step on anything he said, but Mike did a great job. Really so proud of everything he's done. Made a lot of great friends. Some people I didn't really know, but I did want to point out a few guys that really kind of mentored me through some of this stuff too. And I'd say Lori Green and Mr. Lesser over here. These two are like really people that the town should be proud to have. Maybe not on our payroll, but they really do a lot for us here. So I really want to tell you, I appreciate some of the people that maybe aren't officially known. So thank you very much, guys. I really had a lot of fun too.
Okay, another announcement I have is we're having in this room, a train expo on December 21st. Yep.
Monday, right?
Yep.
Sunday, right?
Sunday, December 21st. Oh, this Sunday. So, do we have a time? 12 o'clock.
12 to 4, I think.
So, everybody come out. Dave Lewis is doing a fantastic job getting this thing started and going. So he's really excited about it. The town's really excited about it. So hopefully it'll be a big thing and it'll grow throughout the years. And this is to help the Historical Society. So 12 o'clock, 12 to 4. Yep. Any other announcements? No. All right. Public comment on anything. Go ahead, Lori.
So first, I'm happy to announce that this Thursday, December 18th at 5 p.m. will be our next installment of Sci-Fi with the Science Guy at the library. We'll be continuing our 2-month celebration of the Fly movies of Vincent Price with the return of the Fly. I'm waiting for people to go, help me, help me. He says it in this movie as well. Please register with the library. Let me know that you're coming. Popcorn will be served. And this way I know how to make, how much popcorn to make. Last thing you want to do is have a Sci-Fi with the Science Guy and run out of popcorn in the middle. I wanted to thank John. I know that this is the last meeting you'll be on the board, and I thank you for the comments you made about me. We met first time at one of your ward meetings, and since then, you've been just such a positive, happy, can-do person.
Thank you.
I really admired that. To the extent that actually, I think I'm the only person out of the 12,000 people who live in Mammoth that actually attended all 8 of your ward meetings. So I I figure that gives me the right to ask if you can continue having them. Because they're just a lot of fun. We had a lot of great conversation, a lot of great people. And you may be thinking, but I'm not going to be on the board anymore. Well, that's okay. I wasn't in your ward and I showed up anyway. How do we keep on doing? Mike, I didn't even know where to begin. We met basically the day I think that you took office. We live in a polarized country. Everybody's on two sides. I don't think it's been that bad since the 1850s, and that polarization didn't work out all that well in the 1860s. You've done a lot of amazing things, but to me, the one that was always at the top was the way that you just brought people from all different parts of the town, all different backgrounds, all different political parties, and got them to work together to make this just a really great town. And for that, I'm very appreciative. I think everybody else is as well. Perhaps the best example of this was when you decided that, all right, I've had enough. I don't want to, I don't want to be the supervisor. I'm not going to run for re-election. And you looked around to see, well, who is it that I think can do the best job? I know you talked to a lot of people, and you picked Peter, made him the deputy supervisor. And to me, that was just amazing. I think most people realize it, but he's a different party, and you guys did this together anyway. Peter got a great year of seeing, the ins and outs of what you're doing. And I just think that's amazing. And when people talk about bipartisanship, you wish that the rest of the country would have followed that example. So with that, I wish everybody a merry and a happy holiday season. I'm looking forward to a great 2006.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There you go.
Anybody else?
Come on. Chris.
I'll say something real quick.
Okay.
You guys for many, many years, Tyler, Coach Baseball, you two guys back there, the dynamic duo, appreciate all your help and what you've done. Thank you all.
Thank you, Scott. Okay, Chris.
There you go. Nice. Come on, Chris, close out the year for us.
Nice tie.
Yeah, I like it.
Last Thursday, I was at the legislative meeting, the county, and there were several issues there. The county has these unfunded mandates that dictate to the ambulance corps and the firemen of what they should be doing, but unfunded, who pays for that? So I was there, kind of like, well, I was there as a support for that it's time to stop hearing this crap, that the state doesn't give it to the county, therefore the county doesn't give it to, we'll say, the ambulance corps and the firemen or something like that, because it's old after a while. So who's going to pay for all of those things? That was what I said publicly, and also I got to write his name up, but I can't remember what. Bo Tuno was there from the other fire company,
Westbrookville.
Westbrookville. And so he had several things that he said, one of which was about having this 10% discount for the firemen or the ambulance corps. I spoke on that, I think it was over a year ago at the legislative meeting, that it should be passed. Well, I guess it didn't pass. It seemed like the county is not doing anything with it. So that resorts back to here, because I remember talking for that here, and the Mamakating board passed. But I just assumed that when you passed it, it took care of all of the fire companies districts, but it doesn't. A person in a fire district has to apply for that. So I have some of these papers here that I'll just leave on the thing over there, because I was over talking to Michelle to get more clarification on this. There's a couple forms on this, and one of the things was from the state, and as a little bit of a guide from our town assessor. So looking at that thing there, I don't think Bo was aware of that. So he was under the impression that he needs, or his people need to come and get that application and go ahead and get this 10% out off of your assessment. Well, the 10% off your assessment sounds good. So if you have $1,000 assessment, so to speak, we'll just get 10% off of that. And that's not how it works. So we use my land as an example, and I'm not gonna go all over the details because. So here's in brief, we use town to highway, highway number one, general fund out of village. 1, 2, 3, 4 is, Bloomberg Fire Total. So those totals added to, that comes off the, taxable assessed value of units. So that total comes to $111.79. And that's how it works. So from there, you get 10% off of that, which in this case amounts to $11.18.
No, that's not right, Chris.
Then that's,
When you say your house was assessed at $100,000,
we're not talking about housing now. We're talking about right off in here. These are the numbers. They're not.
it goes by your assessment. So your assessment of whatever your tax bill is. So what's your house worth on the assessment? Just say $100,000.
Okay, go ahead.
So you would get 10% off. So it goes from $100,000 to 90.
No, that's not correct.
Yes, it is because it shows up on my tax bill.
Well, then you're gonna have to go over to Michelle, because I just was here yesterday discussing all this, where these are her written down figures and why it would be 10%.
It's off your overall assessment.
But that wouldn't, if you think about it logically, that wouldn't be well, because everybody would join the fire company that has land and get 10% off of their assessment.
Then fire company numbers should go up.
And there's some specifics on that. You have, some companies, you have to be in for 3 years.
Yes.
You have to meet the quota for the fire company. You
Yes.
can't just come in and say, oh, I'm a member and never show up.
Right,
And then you have to show that this is what I'm doing.
yes.
And every year, Michelle gets a letter from every commissioner that's in charge of that and says, so-and-so is entitled to this thing.
Right.
So it is an encouragement for people to join, but it hasn't really made people join.
No, that's the whole thing of this concept, I think, that with this 10% is a large number that join the fire company, they can get 10% off of something, and that, Mike, you'll have to discuss next door, because
Yeah, no,
I
right.
just spoke with her yesterday, and most of this is her writings.
Yeah.
And using mine.
Because even on my tax bill, and I can tell you mine last year was 119,000 for my assessed value on my old house. So on that, I got 10% off. It went down to almost 109. It was 100 and something, 108, 7 or something. So I got $11,000 off because it was at 119.
Well, I don't want to argue with you, but that somehow there's something not kosher.
I even pushed it with that Chris Knapp up in the county because I told him the same thing, that
Right.
he's hurting everybody in the county by not having it passed in the county. Because we're only doing it here,
Right.
and some of the other towns have done it, but not all of them. And same with the ambulances. So you have to say that you qualify as a member and
Right.
do all your work as the ambulance to get that 10%.
Yeah, no,
Because even firemen, you could take one or the other. So the other way is you get a tax credit for $3,000 every year that put it on your income tax. Right. The 10% has made it a lot more lucrative for a volunteer fireman because that 3,000 does nothing for you. You know, it takes off.
like I said, I spoke to her yesterday. These are her facts and figures and all this stuff, and
Yeah. I'll talk to her more tomorrow. And if you want, I'll give you a call and we can go over
maybe
it.
I shouldn't have opened up that can of worms. And
No, that's fine. No, you're fine.
All right, way to start it on this last week, Chris.
Yeah, my last meeting, Chris. Come on. I'm kidding.
Better to get it done now, Chris.
Yeah. Yeah, Peter don't want to hear it next week. Any other public comment? Go ahead.
Good evening, my name's Sarah and I'm from Sportsboro, and this Friday at 6:30, we are hosting a cookie exchange, holiday cookie exchange. Everyone is invited, and if you'd like to participate, please bring 3 dozen cookies. You'll get to eat cookies, you'll get to take cookies home. If you don't want to bring cookies, you can bring $10 and just eat cookies. So it's at Two Farms Brewing, 6:30 on Friday.
Oh, thank you. Anybody else have anything? Yes, students in the back tonight too, right? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, students a lot lately, yeah.
Hi. I just wanted to thank the current board for these past few years. It's been an honor and a privilege to work with all of you. Looking forward to seeing most of you again next year, and even if it isn't in the same government capacity, seeing all of you next year and within the coming years. Mike, you've been a wonderful supervisor, and again, it's been an honor to work with you, and I wish you all well.
Thank you, Kara.
Thank you, Kira.
Anybody else? No. Brittany, you have anybody online?
I do. Emily would like to speak.
Okay.
So I had brought this back up probably back in June, I want to say, about the changing tables in the town park buildings. I just wanted to know an update on that in the bathrooms.
Yeah, no, and actually, I thought it was earlier than that, probably May or something. I thought
Might have been.
Yeah, it's something I got off my radar a little bit.
Okay.
Actually, me and Peter talked about it today. He looked into a few things. We're gonna talk about a few things because the kitchen building is a little tough because we don't have a lot of room. But Peter seemed to think we could fit something there, but it has to be anchored.
Okay.
So there's some work that has to be done there. Like I said, the park and rec guys have been crazy since the summer, and it just kind of got off my radar a little bit.
Okay.
So Peter's gonna kind of handle it going into the new year. So
Okay.
all right.
All right. Thank you.
Yep. You're welcome. Brittany, you have anything? Anybody else?
I do not.
Okay. There's no executive session. So can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Motion by Tyler,
Second.
second by Gary. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thanks everybody. Have some happy holidays.